Hello, and welcome back, my friends. We are back with dun, 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 a working original Xbox. I mean, I know it's been working for a few streams now, and I'm always excited when it's working right. Uh, we are going to be playing as soon as it loads up. It's always a little nerve-wracking when you have that pause. We're going back to more of the Two Towers. So before I get going, if you aren't familiar with Geek News Now, you should head over to geeknewsnow.net, check out all the amazing content and articles over there. We just broke, this week, 700 articles on Geek News happening over on geeknewsnow.net. So be sure to go on over, check out all of that content covering news, breaking content, real geek news, no fluff, no click. We can't verify it, we don't post TikTok, Twitter, we are all over the place. And of course our YouTube channel, where all of our streams get uploaded to every single week. So if you miss them here, you can go on over to our YouTube page and see it there. Alright, so we're going right into the Two Towers. Hey, Mooglenator! How's it going, buddy? Been a while. You gotta forgive me, I'm also cramming my dinner down.
Where is the hole?
So if you guys have been on the last two times we've played, first off, because I have been asked, this is not an emulator. This is a legit, this is actually a GameStop Xbox controller, but this is a legit original Xbox. I'm gonna move my camera here just a bit so we can kind of see what's going on. Yeah, we'll go here. That's a good spot for it. Okay. So, we've been unlocking the different characters and extra features. Last stream, we watched some of the interviews and stuff that they have on here with the actors who played. We've played through all of the levels now as Legolas. The only thing left with Legolas is to get him to level 10, which unlocks a special secret mission that you can play as each character when you get them to level 10. So I played as Gimli for a little while last week, but I'm gonna go back and play as Legolas for a level because I really want to get him up to level 10. No, this isn't the RPG. This is the movie-based Two Towers
We are
game
not alone in defending Rohan.
with all the
King's
actors
Guard were also
and
fighting
everything, but
through
this isn't the
Helm's
RPG
Deep.
one. The RPG one was the Third Age, and I will be playing that one after I do Return of the King. So it is coming. Hey, Wolf Angel.
Our only hope is to stand together. Saruman's forces move strange explosive devices through this town. Help us destroy them.
So I'm just trying to get Legolas to level 10, and
must destroy
this
these
level
explosive devices.
will probably do it, or at least get me really close. So I hope everyone's had a good day today and has good stuff happening in their life. So I think my goal for the stream this week for this is to first thing we're gonna get Legolas to level 10. We're gonna get all of his stuff unlocked. We're going to finish Gimli. We should be able to finish Gimli tonight, or at least get really close because we're already pretty good with him. As far as we're about halfway done with him, and I'd like to get both Legolas and Gimli to level 10
Hold them at the gate
tonight. Max it out. See, Wolf Angel, you sold something you didn't think you'd be able to sell and got 250. Hey, there you go. That's a pretty good deal. And you had a so-so day teaching the kiddos. Yeah. You know, it could be worse, you know? And teaching kids, I mean, that's an honorable thing. It's,
I shall have to find another way.
I understand it's challenging and, you know, it's not the easiest thing, but good on you for doing it, you know? Teachers really do change lives.
They overrun this area too.
What's nice about this level is that the NPCs can't die. So you can just let them be fodder and be near the explosions and stuff, and it just doesn't matter. Oh man, I'm so close to the next level up. I should be able to do it at this next part. While we have a brief break here, be sure to check out our friends over at Root Energy, root-users.com. Use promo code GNN20, you get 20% off your order.
Those few of us able to fight, march for Helm's Deep. There the future of Rohan shall live or die.
Man, I got right there. It doesn't get closer than that. Come on. Oh, that's alright. Let's see, what do I have? Okay, I've got... Alright. Yes, they are. Every character is. Yep, Legolas, Gimli, Gandalf, Aragorn, all of them are the original actors. All of the hobbits, all the voices of the hobbits in the background. Because in this one, you don't play any of the hobbits, but in several of the levels, they're running around in the background in several of the earlier levels. And really, it's just Frodo, so Elijah Wood did voice. So this has all of the actors. Should be a good level to get us that last experience push. I probably need to do about 2 more levels. One to get the level 10 with him, and then one to get enough of the
Frodo carries the fate
experience
of us
points
all.
to buy all of his upgrades.
We must defend him.
So we are doing a completionist playthrough, but I'm not speedrunning this. If anybody's looking for a speedrun. And I don't think you were on my stream last week, Google Nader, but this is, I think I said, it was last week or the week before, I mentioned that this was actually the first Xbox game I owned. And this copy that I'm playing right now is that same one that I bought almost 20 years ago. This is the original disc. This game was also released on GameCube and PlayStation. The only thing that differs is the PlayStation and the Xbox version are identical. Pretty much, there's a little bit, controller interface is different, obviously, but the gameplay is identical. With the GameCube, the only change that was made is that once you beat the GameCube version, you can then skip the cutscenes for the rest of it, for all of the next times you play the game. Whereas in Xbox, I can't skip this right now. So in Xbox and PS2, I can't skip these cutscenes. But in the GameCube, if I had already beat this game, I could.
We must defeat these Urukai for Frodo to escape.
So, for that reason, the GameCube version is the version that they run for speedruns. Because, the cutscenes are skippable. But yeah, I had played this at a friend's house. On his Xbox, and I was debating, did I want to get an Xbox or a GameCube? And playing this, I didn't even know this came out for GameCube at the time, so playing this on his Xbox, I was immediately like, yep, I want the Xbox and I want this game. Dude, I am full of trivia, if you didn't know. That has become, such a thing. That's why one of my redeemable channel points is for random movie trivia. Just whatever comes to my head, or even I'll do stuff where I'll let people pick the genre. The other, I'll give you another bit of interesting trivia I'd already given about this game on previous streams. When you play as Aragorn, you're actually playing Viggo Mortensen. He did all of the, not just the voice, but he did all of the motion capture for Aragorn in the game. So you're not just getting the voice of the actor, you're getting his movement, his everything for how he did the motion capture to fight as Aragorn. He brought as I remember reading, he brought a trunk of stunt swords into the studio and was like, "So, can I do the motion capture?" And we haven't even gotten to play Aragorn yet. I'm saving him for last. I have heard several accounts that very few people are as dedicated to the craft as Viggo Mortensen is. He speaks multiple languages. He's capable of doing, and Wolf Angel redeemed random film pack. I pick. Well, I'll give you one that a new one that I found out. It's not Lord of the Rings, it's Star Wars, but I didn't know this. At the lightsaber battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin at the end of Episode 3 is the longest on-screen sword fight in cinema history.
Spread out! They must not surround us!
But yeah, a lot of people have said that Viggo Mortensen is like the most dedicated. He put in all of the effort to do his sword fighting stunts as Aragorn in the movie. One of my favorite movies of his is Hidalgo, and if you've never seen it, the other thing that's cool with him is he is known for buying horses. He's known for buying the horses used in films and putting them on his own ranch. His horse that he rode in the Lord of the Rings movies, Borrego, he owns. The horse is probably not still alive. They were over 20 years ago now. But yeah, he bought Borrego. He bought Hidalgo when he filmed Hidalgo. The stunt actress that was the stunt writer for Arwen in Fellowship of the Ring. Her white horse, Asphaleth. The stunt writer had fallen in love with the horse, but wasn't able to afford her at the end of filming, and Viggo bought the horse for her. He bought the horse for the stunt writer because she had made such a bonding connection with the horse. He bought it to her as a gift. Like, he's, by all accounts, a great guy. I've also read stories where supposedly he was like driving down the road and he like hit a rabbit or something with his car. So he stopped to see if the rabbit was okay, if it needed, medical attention or whatever. And it was dead when he found it. So he decided to cook. He made a fire and cooked and ate the rabbit. He is like Aragorn through and through. Whenever he would film his scenes in like Two Towers or Return of the King, they would drop him off like a long way away from the set, a couple miles, and he would hike there in costume so that when he got there, his costume would look worn in and dirty and like it should. Yeah, he is very method actor. He's but all accounts I've ever read, he's like just like the greatest guy, and he's on my list of actors I'd love to just talk to. Not just about Lord of the Rings, but just about, he's done a lot of films and played a lot of different characters. But he's still, to me, a very underrated actor because most people only know him from Lord of the Rings, and they don't know his other work. I could go on and on about Viggo Mortensen. He's just an awesome dude. And that is one of the most beautiful transitions in this game. Alright, so now we're finally level 10 with Legolas. Yeah, I could see that. Alright, we're gonna do... We should have... There's a secret mission with Legolas we should have unlocked. But I'm gonna wait to do the secret missions with the characters until the very, very end. Yeah, it's the Tower of Orthanc. And, actually, no, let's go ahead and do it. It's fine. And this will get me what I need to buy the last of his upgrades.
Your end is near.
So this is like an arena-style combat with waves of enemies. And this is why the mithril arrows are nice, is because they go through and through. But yeah, I would say he's like Tom Cruise in terms of dedication, but not so much, like he's got a better personality than I think Tom Cruise is known for having, unfortunately. And I like Tom Cruise as an actor. He's got a reputation of having, you know, that on-set temper. Kind of the same with Christian Bale. Great actor, but, you know, they've got the famous blow-up scene, you know, famous blow-ups, where you have guys like Viggo Mortensen that buy horses for the stunt people, you know. Yeah, the music in Lord of the Rings is almost second to none. I think Tolkien would be proud of... I honestly think Tolkien would be happy with the way... take out some of the story liberties. I think Tolkien overall would be happy with the way, you know, the music came out, with the way the story was told. You know, there's obvious liberties and obvious book differences, but if you look at it from like a movie point of view, you know, I think he'd probably be happy. Here's another bit of movie trivia because I'm on the topic. So Sir Christopher Lee, the late great Sir Christopher Lee, who is a awesome dude in so many ways. I mean, he hunted Nazis in World War II as part of the British Secret Service. He is a very dangerous kind of guy. He recorded a heavy metal album about Charlemagne when he was in the 80s. All right. So Christopher Lee, this awesome guy who played Saruman, knew Tolkien personally and received Tolkien's blessing that if they ever made a live-action Lord of the Rings movies, he received Tolkien's direct blessing to play Gandalf. But when the time came, Christopher Lee didn't feel he was young enough and fit enough to do the role. And so he took the role of Saruman. And I mean, he nailed it. And he plays creepy bad guys so well that you know, really classy bad guy. He was Sherlock, he's been Moriarty, he's been Dracula. You know, everything he touched had this class to it that was unmatched. Yeah, there's 20 levels to this. We're on number 7. And you just go until... Christopher Lee was one of the last, like, really true Renaissance men. And Renaissance men were guys that could do anything. It didn't matter what it was. They were artists, they were musicians, they were dancers, it didn't matter what artistic medium they touched, they could excel at. Da Vinci was, and it's kind of based around who Da Vinci was. When you think of the Renaissance man, you know, he was this inventor and scientist and artist and philosopher. look at guys like Christopher Lee, Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, these guys that can do whatever we need them to do, whatever they want to do. It doesn't matter. Then, you know, the world needs more of that. We need more guys that are out there, classy and intelligent, and just rocking the world the way it should be. Oh, that's cool. So your middle school, Tolkien's grandson visited your school. That's awesome. That's absolutely amazing. What I find amazing is that Legolas was Orlando Bloom's breakout role. He was an X Games snowboarder. That was his claim to fame before he was Legolas, was he was an X Games snowboarder. And almost nobody knows that because he's become such a well-respected actor. But he's he is mostly known for Legolas and for William Turner in Pirates of the Caribbean. But he also did, if you like chick flicks, it's actually not a bad one, Elizabethtown. He was in. It was pretty good. Yeah, look at him now. X Games snowboarder to, you know, Legolas. And using a shield as a board. Yeah, probably that may have been an artistic choice by the actor in the moment. From what I understand, I've not seen video, but from what I understand, he used to be pretty good. And a lot of people, like John Rhys Davies, who's Gimli. John Rhys Davies is a legendary actor. And my first introduction to John Rhys Davies was in Indiana Jones. In Raiders of the Lost Ark, he was Sala, Indy's friend. In I forget what country they were in at the time, but yeah, he was Sala. So, you know, he's the one who finds the Ark with Indy. Yep, Sliders too. He's a great actor. He's also very tall. He's like 6 feet tall. So it's really, one of the things that was really impressive to me about the way they did the Lord of the Rings movies was how they got the forced perspective right. You know, it wasn't all CGI to make the characters' heights. For the pulled out shots, they had actual vertically challenged actors. I'm sorry, I don't know the correct PC term these days. But for the close-ups, they used forced perspective, where in order to make one character look so much shorter than another, they're actually standing like 4 feet behind. But because the angle of the camera, it looks like they're right next to each other, when in reality, there's all this distance. And to figure that out, to have the cameras in the right spot, to act in the right spot to make that happen, is just very impressive. I caught the Lord of the Rings movie exhibit when it was on tour, oh goodness, 2005, 2006, when it was on tour after wrapping Return of the King. And it was really cool. They had costume pieces. The shot of Boromir in the boat at the end of Fellowship of the Ring, that wasn't actually Sean Bean, believe it or not. That was a Madame Tussauds wax figure in the boat at the end of Fellowship, when they're sending it after he's died. And they had it there and it looked, I mean, right down to the pores on the face. It was so perfect. You would have believed Sean Bean was about to sit up. Oh man, I'm on level 17. I can't die. I gotta make it to the end. 'Cause I think if you die, you don't keep your experience. I don't think you keep it. You might, but I don't know. So there, you got a bunch of random movie facts. I'm so close. Ah, no! No! Nope. Don't get to keep it.
Your end is near.
We'll come back to that. That's just the way that is. Like, right there at the end, it gives you something so hard. Let's do one last level as Legolas to get the rest of his upgrades. And then we'll switch over to Gimli and play through Gimli. No, it wasn't you, Wolf Angel. It was all me. I timed the attacks all wrong. I can just stand here and blindly fire arrows and pretty much just hit stuff.
Hurry, Gimli! Steel yourself! I cannot fight them! I'll take him! How can we stop them? Steel yourself! Legolas! Strongest beast! I cannot fight them!
Another literary fact is that Tolkien and C.S. Lewis, who famously wrote The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, were friends. In fact, C.S. Lewis is credited as converting Tolkien from atheism to Catholicism. Hey, Dark Angel! Happy to do it as always, Dark Angel. Come on! That was my own fault. I didn't manage my space. Oh, someone wanted to do.
Steel yourselves!
They are too many!
Behind you!
That's true. They don't have. They have cave troll.
I cannot fight them!
I wonder if it was just because Sean Bean didn't voice. There's no voice for Boromir in this outside of the movie cutscenes that they use, but there's no like game time voice for Boromir in this. So I wonder if like just Sean Bean wasn't available, so they didn't record it. I mean, they could have used the clip from the movie, I guess, but I don't know. It is an iconic line, and maybe when this game was made, they didn't think about that being iconic. I don't know. I'd be interested to find out, like, why it's not in. Kind of like in the Loki TV series, we never get Owen Wilson going, wow. Oh, wow. Like, we never get a wow from him. And I feel like that's just such a missed opportunity that they didn't take. It's the one line that should be here. I agree.
Over here!
Or there may have been something with a contract thing with Sean Bean. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons. You know. And the other thing too is that New Line Cinema oversaw the development of this game. So they may have had some say in what was in here, what wasn't. I don't know. It's a missed opportunity for sure. It does not simply take Boromir's lines out of context. And this is why we're friends, Dark Angel. Yep. I bet you do, with the little ones. I'm sure Jay doesn't throw a temper tantrum at all, does she? Not at all. Alright, this should max out Legolas. Yeah, I should be able to get everything now. Are you serious? So close. Oh man, they are good at that. I bet if I had done a different, like a longer level, it would have given it to me. But we'll do one more level as Legolas, and then we'll be done with him. We'll be done with him! We'll go back to... we'll go back to this one, because it was an easy one just to kind of blow through. I only need like 2,000 points. Which I bet if I had been able to get a perfect
We are
perfect
not
kill
alone in defending Rohan.
on that troll, I would have had it.
I have seen it before, but never like this. Our only hope is to stand together. Saruman's forces move strange explosive devices through this town. Help us destroy them.
We must destroy these explosive devices.
And of course, now that I have the mithril arrows, it's a lot easier to do this. Because they just do so much more damage. They go through and through and set them on fire. I mean, come on. Okay, I'll be here. Hi, kiddos. Hi, Jay.
Hold them at the gate!
Alright. What is happening with them? What in the world? They're just all falling over and
another way.
dying. That is ridiculous.
Quite useful.
What'll be fun is when we get to
They
Return
overrun
of the
this
King,
area,
because
too.
you get to play as Gandalf. Gandalf the White. It opens... Return of the King opens with Gandalf's appearance at the Battle of Helm's Deep. So when he comes riding in with the Rohirrim, and with the sunlight coming in behind them over the hill, that's how the Return of the King begins. So now you're Gandalf fighting in daylight at the Battle of Helm's Deep, which is pretty cool. But that one's the same thing as this one, where you've got the original actors doing the voices. And there, Boromir is a playable character. Faramir is an unlockable character. You have Gollum, who's not a playable character, but he's running around. So Andy Serkis is there doing the voice of Gollum. They really got everybody in, and all of the hobbits are playable. Sam and Frodo are playable right away, and you can unlock playing as Merry, which is just more of an unlockable feature. It's just playing Merry and Pippin is just like they move and everything. The moveset is the same as with Frodo and Sam. It's just more of an unlockable
Those few of us able to fight, march for Helm's Deep. There the future of Rohan shall live or die.
All right, now we're done with Legolas. Excuse me, my contact is being an issue. Alright, so Legolas is now level 10, fully upgraded. Yay! So, this is where we left off with Gimli. The Plains of Rohan.
Before our long journey brought us to Edris, your people were already in great peril.
And this is actually a fairly difficult level to do because you have a lot of... This is kind of the first time you're really dealing with, like, mostly Uruk-hai more than any others, so they're just that much harder to kill, and they're so much faster than we are. Now, Gimli hits harder, don't get me wrong, but he's not as fast of an attacker as Legolas is. But his melee attacks are a whole lot stronger.
We must save everyone that we can, or this village shall fall. You must press on. I am needed elsewhere.
And it's not a huge issue with this level, but there is a timer on it. And in the upper right-hand corner, behind where your guys' chat is a counter measuring the life of the villagers. So if we do go too slow through here, they do take damage, and you can like fail this level because of it. Oh, he set himself on fire. That works. But great, now I've got to go through that.
Save me, please, save me!
I hate these guys. dinner reheated. I'm in trouble. Man. Brutal.
Get us out! Hurry!
So I wanted, this is completely off topic, but I wanted your guys' opinions since you guys, watch my stream. I'm thinking about when I finish doing Obi-Wan on Friday, doing the Kingdom Hearts games. Is that something you guys would be interested in watching? Like just starting, and it would be mostly blind. I've never actually beaten, and I've played 1. I've never played 2, and I haven't played 3. I own them all, but I haven't, and I've never beat 1. But so it would be a mostly blind playthrough of Kingdom Hearts. I think I asked the question while everybody was away with dinner.
Leave me! Please, leave me!
Attack!
They have broken through!
Here's a real race against the clock. All of these guys have to die before I can get in there to save them. It won't let me, like, break the barricade until they all do. And this guy's gonna be a pain. The others I'm not so much worried about. Hearts would be interesting. You've never played or seen any of them.
Get us out! Hurry!
No, I don't think I'm gonna do this. They're gonna die before I can get to them. Yep. Yep. Now I've got to replay the whole thing. I ran into this with Legolas too. It was at that same part. And there's no difficulty setting, so it is what it is.
We must save everyone that we can, or this village will fall. Press on. I am needed elsewhere.
Come on.
No! Let me live!
Come on. Into the room. So I can kill you. Kingdom Hearts is one of those games. It's got its own like definite challenges. I mean, I remember it being a fairly difficult game, really. These guys get a whole lot easier when you unlock the rising attack. And I'm not high enough level to unlock it yet. Because then you just have to wait for them to get close enough and you'll automatically knock them down when you stand up. Man.
Get us out! Hurry!
Oh, hey, medic. Pattern Nintendo. Oh, I have that too. Alright, hang on.
Save me!
That was sweet. Somehow managed to pull a perfect attack string out of that.
Attack! I have broken through!
I think Gimli is the hardest of all of them to play with. I think when we get to Aragorn, I think it's gonna be one of those things that's gonna fly right through. I mean, the enemies don't get any easier, but the combat style does. Because it's way more balanced. Alright, cool. He's dead early. Thank you, Gandalf. An actual useful NPC. We are running out of time. There we go. Get out of there.
Get us out! Hurry!
You have done all you can here. The survivors will make for Helm's Deep.
What?
Still have work to do.
Oh!
I will come back to you at the turn of the tide.
I failed and succeeded at the mission simultaneously. Because when they ran out of the building, the villagers ran through the fire and died. At the same time I killed the last enemy, so the game didn't know what was what, so now I have to replay it. Are you serious? Come on. That is absolutely ridiculous. That's horrible.
We must save everyone that we can, or this village will fall. You must press on. I am needed elsewhere.
On the plus side, I can almost speedrun this part of the game. Oh, that's so annoying. This is my least favorite level in the whole game, by far. It feels like at times like the game's AI randomly will be more difficult than other times. And it's probably just my imagination overthinking it, but it definitely feels that way. I wonder if I can just like run past them and not deal with them. You know, just because I have a feeling that it's going to make me come all the way back here and kill these guys later, we're going to deal with them now. Or not, they're gone. Okay then. Well, now I know just in the future I just got to run past them. Neat! How about that? Fire ran by you. That's right, Jay. If you're ever on fire, be sure to stop, drop, and roll. And never, ever, ever, ever run back into a burning building. Ever. You will not make it out. Don't do it.
I have broken through!
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, fire safety is important, and everybody should learn it. And I cannot stress that
Done all you
enough.
can here. The survivors will make for Helm's Deep. You still have work to do. I will come back to you at the turn of the tide.
Finally! Good grief. That was brutal. We're gonna... Oh, I don't have enough. Rising attack. Yes, please. All right. Moving right along.
We are not alone.
I have seen it before, but never like this. Our only hope is to stand together. Saruman's forces move strange explosive devices through this town. Help us destroy them.
Those explosive devices must be destroyed.
That makes me really happy, Dark Angel. Now, where this level's gonna get challenging is because he doesn't throw his axes as quickly as
Yes! Give them a
Legolas can
taste
fire
of
his bow, so this is one of those levels that relies on ranged attacks. So this is actually probably gonna be pretty challenging by comparison to play as Gimli. But when it comes to melee, I mean, you can't beat it.
More fireworks! Ah, they intend to make corpses of us all!
Oh, John Rhys Davies, magnificent Gimli. Yeah, easily, Dark Angel. You and all the kids are #1 fans. I thank you.
Hold them at the gate!
This village burns like dry tinder.
Then make sure we get this experience
That will do it!
box here. Try to cut down the minimize rather the amount of replay we have to do with Gimli. PS2, GameCube, or original Xbox. That's all it was ever released on. It was never made backwards compatible for Nintendo 360. So if you're gonna do Xbox, you have to do original Xbox console. If you have a PS2 or a PS3 that can play PS2 games, you can do that. If you have like the fat PS3, The PS3 Slims weren't backwards compatible, but I believe it was the fat PS3s that are. And you get a copy of this. The beautiful thing is, while it's a beloved game, it's not like a rare game, so it's easy to get a copy. I have a copy of the PS2 and the Xbox. Neither one were, I mean, I got the Xbox one new, but I remember getting the PS2 one some years later, and it was not bad. But that's how you would do it. I think the hardest version of it to find is the GameCube version. But Google search could probably turn that up for you. Now the good news is if you don't have a GameCube, they're probably the cheapest to get as far as like if you had to buy like one of the older retro consoles. GameCubes are the cheapest to get right now. They're like $50-$60, whereas an original Xbox will be $100 to $150. A PS2 will be like $80 to $100 for one, for a good working one. So it's. Almost done with this level. Yeah. That's a dwarven dedication right there. It's that dwarven stout. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas, or rather blowing it up.
Those few of us able to fight, march for Helm's Deep. There the future of Rohan shall live or die. To buy the next thing because all of that was range, so it's hard to build up the weapon, the point score. The gap will go on.
We could not let these creatures reach the refugees.
Make them fear the wolves of Isengard.
Pretty much. Good news is that when he can hit them, and you have to time it a little more, it's a one-hit kill, which is nice. Hey! Put me down. Oh, now I remember what I gotta do. I gotta wait for him to rear his belly. Too close, I gotta... stay back far enough.
Now, kill that one.
Yeah, basically. Evil hyenas. Surprise. Hey, stop it! Put me down!
Kill that one.
And die! Good doggy.
Now, kill that one.
I'm getting there, slowly but surely. Alright, one more should do it. It'll be interesting. If you guys have seen me play like all these different Lord of the Rings games, it'll be really interesting when you guys see what the Third Age is like, because it's more of a Final Fantasy turn-based RPG style. It's on its hind legs, begging for death. Yeah, this isn't the most like thought-out boss in video game history, you know?
Your people were defended.
But yeah, I get it.
We paid for it with many lives. I nearly lost my own.
These cutscene transitions are smooth, especially from the day that they were made in. We're gonna increase our health first and foremost. Let's increase our throwing axe strength. Yeah, I mean, this was, when did this come out? What, 2003 when this came out? So 18 years ago. You think about what graphics were like 18 years ago in games? It's crazy. Ah, Helm's Deep. This is a tough level for all of them. I think it's hardest on Legolas, though. I really do, just because he doesn't do as much melee
Where is
damage,
the
and there's
horse and
so
the rider?
much close-up
Where is
in
the
this one.
horn that was blowing? I have
I wanna see the
passed
transition
like
for this
rain
cutscene.
on the mountains, like wind in the meadow.
2002.
The
So
days
yeah,
have
19
gone
years
down
ago,
in the
this game was
west.
made.
Behind the hills.
And where they got clever was where they did the transitions, you know?
to shadow.
I
We
still
must
hold
keep
this is one of the
Sauron's
most
gaze
beautifully
fixed upon
aesthetic
us. Keep him
levels
blind to all
in
else
this
that is
level and
moving.
the next one, because you can really get that sense of massive combat, the massive scale, even for a game like this. I remember how intimidating Helm's Deep was to see on the screen for the first time. We had a slight PC error there that should be rectified now. We'll see here in a moment. Cute Jeopardy music, funny Dark Angel, haha. I'm back. Thank you for holding. All right, here we go. Give it a moment, it'll smooth out. A lot of things were happening on my computer at once. I had to do a hard restart. Should smooth out here in a moment. Yep. And because my screen wasn't running, the game wasn't running.
got
Or at least
two.
what I could, the game was still running
There are
on the
enough for
console,
us
but I
both,
couldn't
Gimli.
see it, so I just
Take
died
down
there.
that ladder before we're overrun!
They overran Helmstein. I'm gonna move this back down here because for some reason it stuck it back up over there. I'm back.
The orcs are upon the wall! Down! Get down!
We got really close to being overrun there. new anime to watch yesterday. Finished today. Yep. That's how it goes. Although, you know, after 2020 and all the stuff that got delayed for production and everything last year, we're kind of used to it at this point. You know, unfortunately, it's just from movie delays to show delays to game delays. I kind of feel bad too for like the people who put out, you know, involved in these projects because, you know, it took like 2.5 years to get like Black Widow even just finished to where it could be released. Let alone like all the Marvel Disney shows that they had. You know, it was like I think 500 days to film all of Loki, something like that. So you know, it's and the thing is like our sense of waiting, like our sense of urgency has changed so much because like when I was a kid, you know, you'd have a season, but you wouldn't get, like you'd have the spring TV season and the fall TV season, and you wouldn't have, like, if you had a cliffhanger, you would have to wait all summer for the fall season to come out before you could find out, like, if your favorite character lived or died or whatever. That sounded so like I was being so old. Back in my day, we had to stop using the phone to use the internet. I've decided I think that'll be the thing that I tell my kids to like surprise them for when I'm, you know, to like age myself. Like, yeah, guys, when I was a kid, like we couldn't use the phone and the internet at the same time. Like phones had a cord that plugged them into the wall, and you needed that cord space to power your internet. Wi-Fi didn't exist. Oh, and we're about to lose Helm's Deep. Yep. I'm actually going to move my camera, I think, up here for now, so that I can see like the lower part of the battle arena a little better. It's hard to find a good spot to put it. There was no such thing as iPads. That's right.
I got two.
There was a time when the internet didn't have all of the answers.
Take down that ladder before we're overrun!
Yeah, I don't need to see my health bar as much as I need to see like what's happening on the lower half of the screen. And even when like cell phones were a thing, we had lousy flip phones with a like 1-inch by 1-inch screen. And if they could play a game, it was like Centipede. Pretty much. And yeah, they're not, I mean, they're useful for keeping them busy, but they get in the way and they block. But I'm also trying to be a little forgiving because there's a certain realism to that. You know, if you were fighting on the wall with a bunch of other warriors, you gotta, like, navigate the battlefield. And them. Especially for, like... Realistically, Gimli would be, like, the worst person to have up there. With his giant axe, he would be hitting, like, everybody. Nobody would be safe. So he would be, like, the worst person to have on the wall. Yes, Legolas got him a box this time. Well, Legolas offers to get him a box. He never actually does it. But he does offer. It is the thought activities, that's right. Yes, we don't get the toss move. And honestly, the best part of that scene isn't Gimli saying toss me. It's that look Aragorn gives him of... What? Don't tell the elf.
Seek shelter!
Yeah, it was the look on Aragorn's face that really sold that whole bit. This is such a long level, too. That's right. That is the perfect frost. Let's turn up again. finally, we move up to the big boys. Come on. Run away! Those Urukai are just the worst. They're so hard to get an attack in on if you're slow than they are. Perfect!
Fire on us again!
Meloi! Alle Fininge!
They have fallen back. It is over for now.
I got 19.
Then we are level.
Let's see about that.
Back! Get off the wall!
I don't have enough. Return of the King is multiplayer. Actually. Yep. Return of the King is 2-player. So you'll get to see what that's like.
Our defense is overrun. The women and children are being trapped.
Get them to the Great Hall! We shall hold them here, or at the keep!
Or both. Lord of the Rings trivia. What are the 2 things an elf can die from? There are only 2. In the book, there were only 2 things that could kill them in this world. Death or a broken heart. But it had to be death in combat. They could be killed in combat. So they could be murdered, but they would never die of old age or disease. And the whole thing with Arwen and giving up her, when all of the elves left Middle-earth, when like Galadriel and Elrond and all of them left Middle-earth to go to the Grey Havens, then yeah, the magic of the elves would be gone. But generally speaking, they could only die in combat or in Of a broken heart. And so the reason Arwen was going to die wasn't because he were choosing to give it up. It was the last of the elven magic. Elrond and Galadriel were going to be heading to the Grey Havens. And Galadriel and Elrond are related. I believe it is his mother-in-law. Which one? I believe it actually might be his mom. Huh. Not sure why. I'm not getting a notification on my end it's doing it, but I mean, it could be any one of a dozen things. Sometimes Twitch just does that. So when I finish going through as Gimli, I'm going to do kind of the same thing I did with Legolas, where I'll go through all the levels as Gimli, and then I will play Aragorn for a bit, just to kind of mix it up, so I'm not just running through, you know, the same stuff over and over and over as one character. We'll go ahead and we'll switch to Aragorn, and I think I've unlocked the John Rhys Davies interview for this, so we'll play that too. We know Gimli wins. Such a long part. There's So many waves of enemies. I wonder if I had to kill him to trigger the rest of it. I think I did. I didn't realize he was back here that whole time. That's why I love the rising attack. Because he'll knock him down as he gets up. Hey! There. Alright, last wave. Last wave. See, it doesn't show as censored on my end, so I can never see like when it does that. Oh yeah. No, I agree. Well, and see, I'm not streaming through Twitch itself. I'm going through a program called Streamlabs, so it what appears on my end is slightly different than what you guys see. Because my Twitch is censored for the same reason. Personally. But...
Never have I seen such axe work, Master Dwarf.
Nor I such bow skill. But they never stand back up after I have hit them.
help, women and children are safe. For now.
Alright guys, so I'm gonna take a real quick break, just about 2 minutes, and I will be right back. Yes, new hold music, because we kept getting copyright struck because I was actually using music from the Lord of the Rings series. So this is some cool royalty-free music that Geek News Now has permission to use. And, so yeah, it's pretty sweet. And yeah, I think that is the longest level in the game. I think you're right. Alright. Last level is Gimli for the night, I think, and then I'll switch over to Aragorn for the last hour.
We cannot hold them!
But we'll watch the John Reesing's interview after this. Talking earlier about so many enemies. This is one of those levels too that's just so packed. So if you remember when we were Legolas, Gimli was down here with us and Aragorn was up on the wall. But now Aragorn's down here with us, and we'll have to go save Legolas from the Uruk-hai. So there's some neat little changes and subtleties like that that are different when you play from character to character that I think are neat. do have some new emotes. And we're working on, you know, getting more, and we're also going to be rotating out, I think about once a month, we're going to be rotating out what the tier 1 subscription emotes are, so that, you know, people can get them that way too. Yay! Legolas is alive. Now we work our way back down. Now this is kind of a cool level because all this has been building to like using Gimli as the tank that he is. How you can just run into a group and just swing his axe and just take so many of them down. It's just a beautiful thing.
Hurry, Master!
that was close.
They're about to smash the barricade!
All of that work for nothing, essentially.
We can no longer hold them! Into the Great Hall!
Alright. Well, thank you, Darky. We got a long way to go before we get all of Gimli's stuff unlocked, because he just doesn't. He'll do better going forward. But we have unlocked the John Rhys Davies interview, so I'm gonna move this back down here, and we'll watch that.
Moria, you fear to go into those mines. You know what they awoke in the darkness.
I really enjoyed making the game because you don't have to do so much darn hard work as you do when you're originally creating the character. Shooting a film is necessarily very slow. Wonderful thing about the computer game is, of course, I don't have to get into makeup. When you do the game, you stand in the studio and you say, well, I think you ought to say this and this and this, and they've got a pile of scripts, and you say all these wonderful lines. Ambush! Ambush! And then they take all that and they incorporate it into the game, and you get some of the credit.
Those explosive devices must be destroyed.
I love this model of me as Gimli. I think he's such a vigorous, virile, attractive character. He's really the only person you want to play. I mean, the rest, you know, the Aragorns, you know, the Legolases, you know, handsome, good-looking guys and all that thing. But for real quality warfare, you have to go for a Gimli. We spent 14 months in the most beautiful locations in the world in New Zealand to get the right look for the film. The game is a wartime combat situation, and it's wonderfully and brilliantly created. I can't leave him there. God. What a time-consuming thing it's going to be. I mean, it's a new addiction that I have discovered. So, gamesters, well done. Congratulations on getting into this little niche that gives you the interview. I wish I could tell you how to play the game better, but in fact, I could never get to this level. Good luck with it, and carry on playing.
What an awesome guy. That's awesome. I love the scene of him actually playing the game. That's pretty awesome to me. I'm gonna move this back up here. All right, so that's the Gimli interview. Alright, now we get to play. We get to finally do Aragorn! We get to play as Aragorn. It's Viggo Mortensen. So I get more comfortable in my chair.
So,
You know, well, you gotta remember, there's a little bit of a generational gap there, I think.
This land has changed. We shall wait here until the path beyond appears safe.
So this will be fun. I like playing as
We've had
Aragorn
no
in
word
this.
from Moria in many years.
Because he's such that range.
There are orcs, many of them.
And I think the other thing too is that at the time that was probably not too much time left. I got about 45 minutes. I mean, I'm not gonna beat it with Aragorn by any means. Not tonight. I mean, we'll probably finish it out next week, and then we'll go into Return of the King probably the week after. It'll be just like tonight, where I finish out and 100%. Seriously. Where I finish out Gimli at 100%, and then I move on and
Quickly, persuade!
And then get Aragorn there. So, and then we'll do Return of the King. Or maybe I'll do, like, the following week, I'll do a stream where I do, like, the bonus levels. I was Gimli blocked. Dwarf blocked.
We could pass through the mines of Moria. My cousin Balin give us a royal welcome.
Watch out!
I'd like to see if I can get to the Viggo Mortensen interview tonight. That'd be cool. It's a mystery to us all. I will say, and this is about as far as I'll probably go on the topic, I do believe that guys friend zone themselves. Like, I think it's possible to be friend zoned by somebody, but I think largely guys friend zone themselves because they feel like, I don't know, maybe they don't try. But I feel like it's, you know, I don't feel like the guy's putting in enough effort. Now, you know, if the girl's like already dating somebody, or if she's not outright interested, the girl should just outright tell the guy, not leave it wondering. You know, hey, it's not interested, and just leave it at that. And that's where it should be left, and that's not how it works. Because guys are dense and apparently we don't get the picture. But when it comes to like where there's flirtiness but it doesn't really go anywhere, or you know, you're just not sure, usually it's because somebody didn't make a move. And I think sometimes it's because like, you know, guys expect to have this clear neon sign that says, hey, do this, and we don't have that. And girls think they're being really obvious, or pick whatever the gender the other person happens to be. We won't get into that. But yeah, well, yes. But they probably know that already. I am out of arrows. And I mean, and it's not just guys. I mean, okay, girls are your thing. Then girls, yeah, there's probably still a friend zoning that can happen there. I don't know. I haven't really thought that much about it. But I know guys that complain about, well, the girl, you know, I'm in the friend zone. Well, are you there because she told you she wasn't interested, which is her right? Or are you there because maybe she's expecting you to be clearer about what you want and you're not, you know? My thing is, if you like somebody, tell them.
Fell beast.
If you get rejected, you get rejected. If you can't handle
This
it,
is
don't
the
date.
dawn of Durin,
That's it.
Lord of Moria.
But I'm kind of a direct person anyway, if you couldn't tell. Like, I just kind of... For me, it's like, eh. But I've been in sales, so, you know, I'm kind of used to hearing the word no. You know, trying to sell somebody, you know, here, buy this thing for whatever. And... Yes, and accept the rejection. That's the key part of that. Like, if you show interest and they say no, accept it. That's fine. It's perfectly acceptable. You know, they are not expected to bow to your whims. And contrary to popular belief, you are not, you know, this amazing god of their universe. It's just not going to happen.
It was here that we would find far.
Problem is, people don't like being told no. See, that's just wrong. Like, if you propose to her and she says no, asking again after that isn't gonna change it.
Steel yourself!
You're just gonna make her mad. And I've heard of bars that, like, there's a specific drink that you go to the bar and order, and it tells the bartender that you don't feel safe, or that you feel like, you know, somebody's giving you a problem. And it's a real subtle way to kind of keep them in, so they can kind of keep an eye out and figure out what to do. You know, I think that kind of behavior should start, I think, and it's a shame that it has to be. It's a shame that, like, it's a problem enough that we have to do something that quote-unquote normalizes whatever it is. Yeah, like, if you propose and she says no, just walk away. Just walk away. And that's the other thing. Don't make the other person beg or fight for your affection. Don't pick a fight just so that you can, you know, make them earn your love, make them earn your respect. No. Like, I remember dating one girl. She would pick a fight with me, or she would cause a problem deliberately just because she wanted to see me fight for her and fight for our relationship. If I have to fight for our relationship, I'm probably miserable. And I was. Like, it's one of those behavioral things that just drives me nuts that people do in relationships.
I'll take him!
And for every ounce of quote-unquote toxic masculinity that's out there, there's toxic femininity as well. It goes on the other side. Here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. Do you reject the public proposal, or do you say yes to not humiliate them and then refuse it privately? No, you reject it publicly. Because here's what's happening. We live in a day and age where all that stuff is on video. People are watching. Their friends may be there, right? If you've made this public spectacle, you may have embarrassed them. And if that's not what the person wants, maybe you don't know them that well at all. But I say no. Make it clear how you feel and your intentions about it, and just let it be. You know, if they were willing to do it publicly, you should be willing to reject them publicly if that's how you feel. If you can't, then you've got other communication issues in your relationship. I vote reject it publicly. It's gonna hurt either way. And then what's gonna happen? You're gonna go home, you're gonna think about it. What if you then decide not to later because the time has passed and you think about it? What if you end up never doing it after that because you don't get the courage, because you don't want to hurt them? And sometimes it's timing. But here's the other thing too. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you propose and they say no, I think the person who proposed privately should have the right to ask why they refused. Where is it they're not ready? Or is it how the proposal went down? I think that conversation should be normal. Maybe you're just not ready, or maybe you were embarrassed because it was public. Not everybody likes a public proposal. Not everybody likes to be the center of attention. You know? I have a lot of philosophies on dating, but I've also dated a lot. So it's not in a long time, mind you, but I have dated a lot. And see, that's reasonable. That's a conversation that was had by adults to discuss the matter. And you went on. To just reject and not say why you're rejecting, I think is wrong. Because then that other person never gets a chance to grow or be better. That other person never gets a chance to realize, hey, you know, maybe they're not at that place in their life. Maybe you don't feel safe having that conversation. That's a whole different conversation to have. But I think if you can, you should.
Frodo carries the fate of us all.
Because they were willing to put everything on display for them. One of the other problems that I see in behavior of people is that, you know, we've made it so that, like, this perception that all of your spare time has to be spent with that person. I think a big problem we have is we don't let, like, once you get to a certain age, you're both adults. I think you should both have the freedom to be adults. You should both be allowed to have friends that don't necessarily involve each other. You should both be allowed to have a night out that doesn't necessarily involve the other person. You know, you should be allowed to have a life that is your own. And you can have a life that is your own and still have a life with somebody else. People do it all the time. And I think if you can't do that, then you're just a controlling personality. Megaphone refusing to take no for an answer. So, right there, that tells me everything I need to know.
We must defeat
that tells me, number one, he didn't know how to propose to her and had never discussed had that conversation. If you're the person who's doing the proposing, it's perfectly acceptable to ask them if they have a dream way that they want to be proposed. Ask it early and then surprise them with it later. You'll thank me. But maybe they're the kind of person who doesn't want it. If they're an introvert, they probably don't want you standing there with a megaphone blasting it to the world in the middle of a shopping mall. It's just not the thing. So right there, she was embarrassed. He embarrassed her. Under different circumstances, she may have said yes. Because that would have shown that he understood her. It would have shown that he thought about how it would have made her feel. He put thought into it. But to just stand with a megaphone blaring your love, sorry, this isn't a Disney film. It doesn't work that way. And then take no for an answer. I've seen some public ones go wrong, and the guy is devastated, and understandably so. I get it. You know? But I don't think he respected her. Because if he did, he would have paid attention to how she felt, and would have paid attention to what she would have enjoyed as a proposal. It's always like the last hour of my stream where we get into like the deepest topics. Probably because I'm tired and I just, at this point, it's like, yeah, whatever. Let's just discuss. Having a life with your partner feels like your partner is helping. It is. It is just like you shouldn't work a job all the time. It can be draining to have to, every second of every day, every activity you do, all the time, to be in the company of somebody else. You know? If they have a show they like to watch and that show comes on, if you don't care to watch it, guess what? That's okay. Let them watch their show. Talk about it later. And if you want to spend that time with them, fine. But if they just want that time alone, or if they come to you and say, you know, I really just need some time alone, clear my head, let them. You know? And one of the biggest problems I see, too, and I've made this mistake, and a lot of these are mistakes that I've made, you don't try to fix the other person. They don't need fixed. And one of the best pieces of advice I ever saw somebody give is that they learned to ask their partner, do you want solutions or to vent? If somebody just wants to vent, let them vent. And just be honest enough to ask, are you looking for me to solve, like, you want to talk about your problem, are you looking for me to give you a solution, or do you just want to get it off your chest? And if people just ask that, oh my goodness, so many fights would be avoided. And guess what? 9 out of 10, she doesn't want you to fix her. She is probably capable of fixing her own issues. She just wants somebody to shut up and listen. Yeah, let them play their games, read their books, blast their music. One of the most rewarding things I have found in relationships is when you can both sit in the same room, doing your own thing, but you're doing it together. Yep, I'm out of arrows, right? Man, I've been going through the arrows so much faster, I think it's just because of how quick he fires. But we'll deal with these guys and see if they drop anything. It's probably despawned by now. Yeah, it's despawned by now. So I'll have to see if he drops anything.
Aragorn!
It isn't actually necessary to kill those guys, though, so let's go this way.
Spread out! They must not surround us!
Now I have it. But what I was saying is, one of the most like rewarding times in a relationship that I've had is when like one person's like, let's just say I'm in the room playing a game on the Xbox, and she's in the room playing a game on her phone. And we're not doing that together, but we're in that space together. We're not interacting with each other, but we are still together. That can still be a very rewarding time because you're doing what you both enjoy, but it doesn't have to be a two-player activity. You both have a love me from afar shirt.
You shall pay.
You know, that's a really clever idea. That's really clear. I like that idea. And even you can have a code word between you. Just something that says, you know, banana, and you know, like a safe word. But just a word between you two that tells you, hey, today's a rough day. Today's a day I'm having a hard time. You know. But I think that shirt idea is a great idea because it's subtle, it's clear communication. So after one more level and one more actual level, I'll be able to we can watch the Viggo Mortensen interview. Even the kids have picked up on the shirts. That's important too, and I think if when kids are involved, I think it's okay. Okay, so parents, if you're watching this, you ever watch this? If any parents are watching this, particularly parents of little children.
Despite Boromir's heroism, the servants of Saruman captured members of our company, but we would not abandon our. They came this way.
It doesn't make you a bad
ends
parent.
We must split up to find them quickly.
From the kids any more than it makes you a bad partner to need space from your spouse. See, there you go. See, kids will pick up on emotion. Kids will pick up on feelings pretty quickly. It's, you know, never just children will observe. Even if they don't observe it, they like consciously they'll pick up on unconscious level. It's easy. Because they all they understand is emotion in the most basic sense. So if you're upset, they understand you're upset. They don't know why you're upset, but it's clearer, I think, to children than it is to parents. But parents, it does not make you a bad person to need a break from your children. There are people who are like that. Oh, I can't take a break off from my kids. My kids need me. Well, you know what? You also need to take care of you. If you don't take care of you, you're not going to be a mental health meant to be one of them. Like, parent, it's okay to take a breather. It's okay to ask the other person, hey, can you watch them for a little bit, I need space. Alright? And it's better to do that than it is to be a really crappy parent because you're in a bad mood and you're stressed, you take it out on them. Exactly. Self-care isn't selfish. And it feels like it is until you do it a few times and you realize that you can, in fact, balance self-care with real life. And that's one of the important things. You know, you have to find that balance. You can't spend all of your time doing self-care because, you know, responsibilities. But if you find that balance, self-care isn't selfish. And it's really hard to be a parent when you can't take care of your own mental health. You look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and first on that list is health.
Now you transport.
Before any other need, before relationships, before security, it's health. And I'm not big on the hierarchy of needs thing, but there is a lot of truth to it. That we do need to be taking care of ourselves. We do need to take care of others. We need to make sure that we, you know, everybody does their part, more or less. And I'm just gonna say, side note, these levels are a whole lot easier with Arathorn than they were with Gimli or Legolas. Exactly. How can you possibly make somebody else happy if you don't even know how to make yourself happy? And it's not, that doesn't mean make yourself happy all the time. Happy, joy, and rainbows and butterflies. No, it means knowing how to find your own inner peace, knowing how to find your own relaxation. That's what that means. That means you know that there are certain things that relax you and that those you can go to. And if you don't do anything with it, if you don't figure that out, you'll be miserable and you'll make somebody else miserable. It's the truth. Yay, we unlocked the Viggo Mortensen interview. Now we just gotta survive this level so that it counts. Person gets too stressed or overworked, then even if they don't mean to, yeah, you will take it out on those around you, including kids. Or if you, yeah, and that's the other side. You'll be so afraid to take it out on others that you'll take it out on other people that you become self-destructive. And the thing is, people don't realize necessarily they're being self-destructive. They think that they're doing the right thing by, oh, I'm just not going to burden somebody else with my problems. And so I'm gonna do X, Y, Z, and I'll just beat myself up about it and deal with it. And I'm one of those people that generally will do it. I will try to beat myself up about something before it gets to the point of like really hurting somebody else. And I've tried to really get better about being able to go to somebody and be like, hey, I've got this going on. And this is one of those things where it's like don't be afraid to cry. Like, it's a weird thing, but don't be afraid to cry. sometimes that's what gets rid of the headache. Sometimes that's what helps you de-stress. It is an endorphin release when you cry. That's why you feel better. You fight it back, you bottle it up, you hold it in, you become explosive. When you start to let it out, and sometimes just let yourself cry, like, you actually release endorphins that literally make you feel better, and you release pressure behind your eyes, and it can help with the headache. So, like, don't be afraid of that. And here's the thing. I don't know a single relationship in my life, to go to your point there, Dark Angel, I don't know a single relationship in my life where at some point the question wasn't asked, should we break up, is this working? Ah! That was annoying, because now I have to redo that whole level. And I'm glad you worked through it all. Divorce sucks. At least it started me back here. One of the things that I've learned, having been through marriage counseling, is there's a lot of things that are often left unsaid. And I think that's one of the big issues with people in relationships is the number of things that get left unsaid, the number of things that get left without apologies. And sometimes people don't communicate how they really feel. There were some interesting details that came out in my marriage counseling. But there were some interesting things that didn't come up. Things that I don't think either one of us had any idea about if we hadn't vocalized them to the other person. So, you know, you gotta communicate. And you gotta communicate with your kids.
There is something out there.
And
what do you
there's
see,
times I've had to apologize to my children,
wizard.
even at their age. And I think it's important too that you apologize to your kids.
Isn't that great?
Let them see you're human. Alright. The pressing topic over. We're going to watch Viggo Mortensen's interview, and then I think I'm going to end my stream because we got pretty far. Let's see, the thing that's hard that's people for people is it isn't selfish to ask for your own space or time. Yeah. It isn't selfish. Self-care isn't selfish. Alright, so we're gonna watch Viggo Mortensen's interview. I'm gonna move this back down here. Here we go.
The fate of the world will soon be decided.
You know what, I'm just gonna turn it on.
The whole process of the video game construction or building of it is new to me. They're fighting things and ninja things, I don't know what. I was surprised. I mean, it looks much more realistic. It seems like it goes to another level. I think Aragorn's aim in the video game is better than my own, but I'm not going to complain about that. By my life or death, I can protect you. I will. You have my sword. what I've seen of the video game seems to reflect the fact that the second movie, as opposed to the first one, is on a bigger scale. And I'm looking forward to seeing them, just as I am to seeing the rest of this game. I've only seen a sample today. I was glad to see, for example, that sometimes Arathorn gets knocked over or falls down or rolls around, that his fighting style alters, you know, to fit the situation. It's not always neat and tidy, you know, it's kind of a... Sometimes he can be a bit of a brawler. At least that's the way he did it in the movie, and the game reflects that. I think it's impressive.
There you have it. He's such a soft-spoken, gentle person, you know, which is incredible because you think about the character he plays. So the Plains of Rohan is a very long, painful, annoying level, and that's where we left off with Gimli last time. So that's where we're going to leave off with Aragorn tonight. Thanks for the conversation, guys, for being on my stream. Be sure to check out the schedule and see the content that we have coming out on the Twitch schedule. We have a new Twitch streamer that has joined the team, Eddie Romero. So be sure to look for him when he's going live. He's a lot of fun. He's been on my stream, chatting up in the comments last week, and he's a real funny guy. So have a good evening. Thank you for being on the stream. And I believe, Dark Angel, if Jay is still awake, I owe her a song. Yes. I am going to turn off the music of Lord of the Rings because I have that pounding in my ears. Okay. Does she have a request or my pick? Okay. Somewhere over the rainbow way up high, and the dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow, blue birds fly, and the dreams that you dare to... Sorry, the lyric. I'm trying to read the lyrics and they're not right. That's not the right version of that song. And I'm also getting it mixed up with Somewhere. So, I'll just do that. Because I'm getting the tune mixed up in my head because they start with the same word. Somewhere out there beneath the pale moonlight, Someone is waiting for me and loving me tonight. Somewhere out there, someone saying a prayer that we'll find one another in that big somewhere out there. And even though I know how very far apart we are, it helps to think we might be wishing on the same bright star. And when the night wind starts to sing a lonesome lullaby, it helps to think we're sleeping underneath the same big sky. Somewhere out there, if love can see us through, then we'll be together somewhere out there, out where dreams come true. There we go. Thank you very much for being on my stream, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you guys next time on Thursday night for Pokemon Diamond. Be sure to check out Wolf Angel on Wednesday and Thursday. She's doing, I believe, Fable 2 on Wednesday and Dead by Daylight on Thursday. And again, check the schedule and see when our new guy, Eddie Romero, is going live. And be sure to head on over to geeknewsnow.net and check out all of the amazing content happening over there. Good night, Dark Angel and family. And good night, Wolf Angel and anybody else that happens to be out there. Good night.